Dr. Christina Conolly, and welcome again to our MCPS video series, Waymaking. Our goal is to help families make their way through many of the emotional challenges that we are faced with today. I have with me today Ms. Khadija Barkley, who is the principal of the Recovery and Academic Program, and Ms. Evelyn Saim-Lobos, who is the Director of Family Service, Inc. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for having us.
Of course. So my first question is, can you describe the Recovery and Academic, or RAP, program and the services at the Landing?
So the Recovery and Academic Program is a supportive program for students and their families who have suffered from a substance abuse disorder, which means that they have been affected by the use of drugs, alcohol, or other substances. And those students and their families have found it difficult to navigate their academic program in a comprehensive high school. So our students, most have already gone to treatment, successfully completed treatment for that substance abuse disorder, and then rather than going back to their home school, they can come to the Recovery and Academic Program that's located at the Landing in Gaithersburg and take digital or online coursework to complete their high school career. So they remain enrolled in their home school, but they physically attend school at the Landing in Gaithersburg, and they complete their high school requirements there online.
The RAP program, the Recovery Academic Program, is the closest thing to a recovery high school in the entire state of Maryland. Although there will be a recovery high school opening in the fall in Frederick, right now we're the only service available for students who would really benefit from a recovery high school, somewhere where their sobriety is the focus, where they have peer support. We have peer support groups run daily for our students, and the virtual classes allow them to kind of work at their own pace and allow us to put their recovery, their substance use disorder, their anxiety and other co-occurring disorders really kind of at the forefront, so that we can work together and individualize what the experience is for every student who comes to the RAP program. Now, the Landing has been around for 7 years, and we are one of 8 clubhouses in the state of Maryland that offer recovery support for adolescents 12 to 17 years old, either coming out of treatment or have a history of drug and alcohol use and abuse, looking for support to maintain their sobriety. Our program, The Landing, is an after-school program, so we're open Monday through Friday from 3 till 7:30, and then on Saturdays from 12 to 6. And we do peer-led groups. We also do vocational skills and all sorts of fun activities, really just anything we can to support the students to really maintain their sobriety and reconnect with their family and give back to the community.
All right. So I want to thank you both for that information. I can't enough the importance of students receiving support as they're going through their recovery from using substances. My mother was a methadone counselor in Baltimore City, and so I've heard all of my life about, you know, the types of supports that are needed, and especially because it can be hard for high school students to go back to school where there may be other students who are using when they're on their path to recovery. So having a safe place for them to receive this support is tremendously important. So then my next question then goes into looking at supports during the pandemic. So right now, I mean, we've heard from people referencing the stress that they are in. And then, you know, like you all hear of, you know, people like, oh, you know, I'm real stressed, I want to get that glass of wine tonight, you know, and they go and grab for an alcoholic beverage. So I can imagine that there may be some students who are also trying to manage their stress with using substances as well. So what are some of the signs, especially for our families that are listening to this, what are some of the signs that a student is using substances and then may be in need of help?
Are you referring to a student who has a history of use, or new students? Because there's
both.
a difference.
Because there's some parents wondering both.
And like there's a bit of a difference, right? So you want to look for old patterns for your students who are in recovery. If they start participating less in their support groups, whether it was AA, NA, the landing, RAP programs, when they pull back from their support systems, when they start going back into the same old pattern of behaviors, that's when you really want to pay attention, really push the conversation, ask the hard questions, and you want to always, do it with love, but you want to straight up ask them, are you using again? Is there anything we can do to support you? Do you need that extra support? And reach out to their support system. If they have a therapist, if they're connected with the landing, you want to reach out to their therapists, to their staff members, to their mentors, whoever else is part of that support system to, make sure you're not alone in that, especially in this time, everyone's feeling very isolated. And so the extra support is very needed. And then if it's a student who hasn't used in the past, if they're changing up friend groups and have new contact with people that they didn't before, if their behavior is changing, that's where you really want to pay attention to the details of their personality and how that's evolving.
So then my next question is, so what are some resources to support families that may have a child who is struggling with substance use?
The county has a great resource in SASCA, which is the Screening and Assessment for Children and Adolescents. It's located in Rockville. They will do interviews with the student and really kind of get an idea. They'll do a drug screening as well, and they'll be able to recommend what is the best next step, whether it's treatment or something a little lower than that, a drug and alcohol education class. All of those things are offered through the county, and so it would be a good idea to take advantage of that. And if it's at a point where where you're fearful for your child's life, if it's getting to a point where it's affecting family life, there's the Maryland Crisis Center, and that's a great resource as well. Of course, there's the landing and the RAP programs for students who are in recovery, who are just looking for that extra support to be able to maintain their sobriety. What we're able to do, and even through this pandemic, is we're holding Zoom groups. We're also going to the students' houses and just taking a walk in the neighborhood to be able to do a one-on-one, to be able to check in and have accountability from someone else. We have peer support specialists who really are able to connect with the students and keep them on track.
We communicate directly with their school in terms of how they are progressing academically, and keep the parents and the counselor and the administrator and the family kind of connected with the school. So our seniors that graduated this year, they all participated in the virtual graduations from their home school. So it was nice for us to see them be successful in completing their graduation requirements, even though, they had this challenge with substance abuse along the way. And one other thing that I'd like to share is the family support that we've been able to institute during this, pandemic. Every Tuesday, Evelyn leads a family group with one in English and one in Spanish. So parents have that level of support where they know and understand that they're not the only ones going through this. And I think that is, phenomenal, because a lot of times when families are experiencing this, it's like they're shunned, like something is wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with me and my family. But when it happens to you as an individual or collectively as a family, you need to know that you're not the only one in this, battle for the lives of your children.
Right. And that virtual support group is actually open to any parents in Montgomery County who have students who are either in active use or in recovery. They don't have to be members of the landing or RAP programs to participate in that. And on the first and third Tuesday of the month it's in English, and the second and fourth Tuesday of the month it's in Spanish. And it's from 6 to 7 p.m. via Zoom.
And so then how do parents sign up for that?
It's a free program. There's a link. I can share the flyer with you and make that available. It's also available on our Facebook page.
Thank you. And so then my next question is, do you have any suggestions or feedback for families to help them during the crisis?
Yeah, we've been, like I said, we've been doing Zoom groups. We've been really trying to stay connected with our students. And we've asked them what's the hardest thing for them. And a lot of our students are saying that they don't feel that their experience is being validated. Parents, this is a stressful and isolating and a scary time for everyone. But parents are just holding on to all this burden and kind of overlooking the fact that it's hard on the students as well. They don't have the same freedoms. They're not able to connect with their friends the way they were. They had to leave school abruptly. They have all of these things. And so I'd really recommend that parents try to empathize with their students and with their children, knowing that they have a loss of normalcy just like we are experiencing. And trying to stay connected and finding other activities. There's so many activities via Zoom and other platforms that are available for students, and many of them are free. So I would take advantage of those.
Okay. And I want to thank you, Khadija and Evelyn, for your time to be with us today. And please, we want to thank our viewers for joining us for Waymaking. To send us additional questions and topics to discuss on the show, please visit the link on your screen. Also, please go to our YouTube playlist to find additional shows in our series. And please join us next time on MCPS Waymaking.